Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? Today we're going to be playing a bit of Izzet Prowess in Pioneer, and this deck is going to be basically red deck wins, but with a lot of extra card advantage and a cool new toy. We're going to be playing your usual culprits here. We got Soulscar Mage, we've got Monastery Swift Spear, to go along with cards like Skewer the Critics and Light Up the Stage. New toys. We get to play 4 copies of Ledger Shredder, and for anybody who hasn't seen this card yet, it is just as badass as Orokusaki. For Ledger Shredder, it's 2 mana for a 1/3 flyer, which is already on brand for this channel, right? And whenever a player casts a second spell for the turn, this card connives. And when I say a player, if your opponent casts 2 spells, you get to draw and discard. If you cast 2 spells, you still get to draw and discard. This card's super sick. And because we're going to be drawing and discarding with this thing, we're also going to be playing 2 copies of Treasure Cruise. And if anybody remembers Legacy, when you got to play Delver decks with Treasure Cruise, then yeah, good times all around, right? And we're hoping to do essentially the same thing. We're not going to be anywhere near as turbo as a deck like Izzet Phoenix because we're not trying to play cards like Consider or anything like that. We're just looking to play a good mono red game, but with some great card advantage engines inside. To that end, we've got Ledger Shredder to loot and filter out some good cards for bad cards. We've got Expressive Iteration because, duh, we're playing Izzet, and Treasure Cruise. But on top of that, we also have 3 copies of Light Up the Stage. To help proc our copies of Light Up the Stage and Skewer the Critics, we've got 4 copies of Kamano Faces Kakazan, and this does a few things for us. Chapter 1's going to go ahead and actually proc our Spectacle cards, so that's pretty good. Chapter 2 makes our creatures a little bit bigger, so if you want to cast your Ledger Shredder on turn 2, when this is at Chapter 2, then this will come in as a 2/4, and that evades most of the damage-based removal in the format, which is super sick. We also have 2 copies of Chandra Dress to Kill, and yeah, shoutouts to Mana Traders for giving me these really dope borderless ones too, so good job, guys. Anyway, she's going to have a +1 that does damage and gives you a mana, giving you immediate access to your Skewer the Critics and Light Up the Stage. Her other +1, because, you know, she has 2, you get to exile the top card of your library and you can cast it this turn if it's red, which almost our entire deck is, which is super sweet. I will be really sad the first time Chandra exiles one of our 2 Treasure Cruises and I have enough cards in the graveyard to cast it. That I can just see that happening now, but just about everything else is on board. And then what does her ultimate do? I honestly don't even know. -7, exile the top 5 cards of your library. You can cast red spells from among them this turn, and you get an emblem with whenever you cast a red spell. It does X to any target, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. Ah, that's actually pretty good. I don't expect to actually have that happen ever, but it is good. Cool. So we've got that. We've got 20 lands, and we're not trying to get ultra fancy with any spell lands. We're just going to be playing 3 copies of Den of the Bugbear. So that means there's no Sekenzan, no Otawara. We're not playing like Hall of the Storm Giants because it's not like we're trying to get to like turn 7 or 8. You know, we're a red deck. So we're just going to be playing 3 copies of Den of the Bugbear because it's almost free to include these things. Not free on Magic Online. They're like $50 each or something crazy. But as far as deck construction goes, they're free to include. And our sideboard is honestly pretty good, I think. We've got 2 copies of Alpine Moon, and that's going to be primarily for Lotus Field combo. We've got 3 copies of Spell Pierce, and this is going to help against a lot of decks, right? Like against any of the control decks, against a lot of the combo decks, and hopefully we're able to put enough pressure on the combo decks using our cheap creatures to make them actually have to try to combo off before Spell Pierce becomes useless. That's basically the plan behind playing that instead of something a little more solid like, say, Negate or maybe even Mystical Dispute. We're going to be playing 4 copies of Flame Blessed Bolt, and this has 2 decks names all over it. Of course, Izzet Phoenix being the big one, you want to make sure that the Phoenix stays dead, or in exile, whatever you want to call it. And then we've got 4 copies of Rending Volley. Oh, I'm sorry, the second deck. Duh. Winota, obviously. The other really annoying deck. Flame Blessed Bolt will permanently take care of Voice of Resurgence, and that's going to be almost its entire job in that matchup. And in Rending Volley, this card's a huge plus. So we're going to be playing 4 copies of this, and honestly, I would play like 6 if I had the ability to, but I don't think this deck wants to play Fry because the 2 mana is, I think, a little bit too much. Anyway, Rending Volley's great. Like, it kills off Winota, it kills off a lot of Winota's friends, like Brutal Cathar. In the blue decks, you get to kill off basically every spirit, which, you know, spirits literally just won the Modern Challenge on Saturday, so I expect to play a lot of spirits. And it kills just so many things. It kills Greasefang, Winota, literally every spirit, Skyclave Apparition and Brutal Cathar out of any miscellaneous decks, basically every human out of the human decks. Like, Rending Volley has a lot of jobs right now, and I'm very happy to play all 4 of these. And then, of course, just 2 copies of Chandra Torch Defiance, and these are going to help in any of the longer matchups, right? Like, if you're playing against any control decks, her tick up is going to be great. Her other tick up is also going to be great. If you're playing against any of the mid-rangey decks that are just trying to play cards like, say, Old Growth Troll, well, Chandra's going to be pretty great at deleting that. So there's a lot of things that end up being really good here. That's going to be our list. Let me know what you think of it. If you're playing something similar, what are you doing with your prowess list? And let's move right into round 1. Aw, yeah, die roll for round 1, we in there. And our hand is not that bad, right? Like, we've got a 1-drop, a 2-drop, 3-drop, all of which we actually want to play, so I'm pretty happy about this so far. And let's play Den of the Bugbear, our awesome new saga, and pass. I'm hoping that this Ledger Shredder is just as good as it looks. Otawara, and we are playing against spirits. Okay, so I'm actually pretty cool with that because my Ledger Shredder is going to be a 2/4, and that's going to outsize basically everything this deck's doing. So I'll be pretty happy to get this counter on. Being on the play is nice. Having access to Bone Crusher Giant against most of their draws is going to be pretty good, but this Mausoleum Wanderer, I guess, could complicate that. And now we are banned. Okay, I was going to say, and now we are about to find out which version of spirits we're playing against, but it is Bant. Watcher of the Spheres is, unfortunately for our opponent, not going to be long for this world, which of course plays nicely for me because, you know, I don't exactly have our opponent's best interests in mind. So let's do that. And if they want to make me pay 1, they can make me pay 1, but this guy's dead as shit. Oh, it's also exiled, right? This thing has text. That's not the first time I've forgotten about that, and it will probably not be the last. So this is actually kind of cool though, because next turn I also have another Ledger Shredder. So what I may end up doing is casting Ledger Shredder, and then whether Bone Crusher Giant Stomp resolves or not, I'll get to connive twice, which is pretty sweet. So I can get rid of whatever my draw step contains. If it's not great, I can get rid of the steam vent because I don't necessarily want it. And my clock is looking kind of lovely. So let's see, they can play land, and then the land can get a Skyclave Apparition can save them from the Ledger Shredder just being bigger than half of their deck. But to be completely honest, they're kind of in a tough spot already. Like, us being on the play with a sweet curve that dodged their Mausoleum Wanderer is kind of exactly where we want to be. Empyrean Eagle, you got it. So I'm actually still fine with Empyrean Eagle, so if you want to attack me for 3, that's whatever. No, you don't want to attack me for 3, that's fine too. Can I draw not Bone Crusher? I can draw not Bone Crusher. Ooh. Oh man, I can just play Ledger Shredder and then Expressive for very little value, and I think I'm actually kind of okay with that. Or I can just Expressive first. I'm going to Expressive first. Yeah, because this can actually hit me with... Actually, that's pretty good. Yeah, no, I like this. So I'm going to put this in my hand, this into exile, or I'm sorry, that in the bottom, this into exile, because I want to cast my Bone Crusher Giant. So I'm going to play this as a Lava Glide, and you... Uh-oh. On an adventure, this is the one that I can play now. Okay, so I'm going to stomp here to connive, and I understand that they can just sacrifice the Mausoleum Wanderer, but that's fine, because I want it off the table, and I want the connive. Oh, whoops, I should have just gotten rid of the Spire Bluff. That's on me. So, yeah, that's fine. So, no, I'm not going to be able to pay for that, which is whatever. Relatively satisfied with that. So, I guess I could have also gotten rid of the second Ledger Shredder if I wanted to connive, so I have a 3/5 that can attack. Shacklegeist in, okay, and Supreme Phantom in. Oh, right. They connived, or rather they played 2 spells. So now I've got a little bit of work to do though. Light up the stage is not really what I wanted here. So I can play the Ledger Shredder attack. Yeah, so if they single block my Ledger Shredder, then I can go ahead and fire off Bone Crusher Giant to finish off the creature in the first place and also connive. The power and toughness, because it'll be a 3/5, will also be enough to get me out of lethal range, even if they block with Shacklegeist. So it looks like we don't want to do that, which is actually fine because I'm just going to get to light up the stage then. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm still going to get to connive, which is sick. I don't really want the Chandra here, and I don't want the Shivan Reef. I get a Soul Scar in Kumano. I want to play the Soul Scar. So this is actively really good for us too, though, because now with my Soul Scar Mage, I'm going to get to do the thing where all of my spells here will actually reduce power and toughness instead of just doing damage. So that's looking pretty good as far as attacks go. A Collected Company kind of sucks, but I still get to like cast my Kumano, trigger my Prowess. Skyclave is probably going to get rid of my 3/5, which is mostly fine, I guess. Are we attacking with anybody? Okay, yeah, I was going to say you should probably attack with exactly 2 creatures, right, to help get rid of my life total, but still leave 2 creatures back so that you can activate your Shacklegeist if need be. I am definitely not blocking here, so we'll just let that slide. Is this last card a Mausoleum? It is not. That's great for us. Another Kumano, also great. So we're going to start doing these and triggering our prowesses. Okay. And I want to... Ooh, do I want to kill Supreme Phantom or Skyclave first? I think I want to stomp here. So that's going to go ahead and let us connive. And I assume I'm going to be getting rid of Kumano here. I am. Okay. So that gets rid of one of the lords. And now I can just like swing for fences, right? Like, no. I'm actually just going to clear this thing and get rid of a blocker. We're just not even going to mess around. So that shrinks their board. They can respond by tapping my Ledger Shredder, my Soul Scar Mage, which is fine because that also taps them out of blockers. Excuse me. Yeah, that's fine. Boop, boop. So you take 4, go to 4, and we got a little bit of work to do if you want to get out of this now. Now my clock is also a little faster than theirs too because they have 1 fewer lord on the table. If their draw step was a Coco or even a Skyclave apparition for Ledger Shredder though, that can get a little precarious, but I think we're still pretty okay as far as things go. Wait a minute. Why is Supreme Phantom in the graveyard and not the... Does that only work on the first turn? Oh, we might have learned something new about Etching of Kumano today. Yeah, so this might be one of those things where if... Oh, they're just leaving up all the blockers. Okay, well, that's fine. Oh, that's better. I want to... I think start off with a Play the Fire. Yeah, if I lead with Play with Fire, that lets me test for a Spell Queller, and I can skewer to critics, get rid of Empyrean Eagle to get an attack off. Yeah, let's do that. So this is going to get our prowess triggered twice, which is cool. This also tests for a copy of, like I said, a copy of Spell Queller if they have it, because it's basically now or never, I think. I don't think they can afford to just like let that bottom. Don't really care about that. Now we have a true test, I guess. Do I just skewer their face? I think I'm just going to skewer their face. If they didn't Spell Queller the first one, I can't really imagine that they want to spell, that they actually have it, right? And if they do have the Spell Queller here, then, oh, sure. I mean, I'm casting it, so if you got it, you got it. A Coco. Okay, so they're going to dig for a Spell Queller, which is actually fine, because if it's just a Mausoleum Wanderer, then I can actually pay the 2. So that's not the end of the world. If it's a Spell Queller that does suck, it is a Spell Queller. Annoying, but it's what it is. Upside, they only found one thing. So I can now just move to combat, see if they want to tap down anything. They don't want to tap down anything, okay. Oh, that might be false. Let's see if they're going to tap something down. Okay. Oh, got it, because now they, okay, yeah. And I can't really attack with this, so. All right, you got me. So we are at 12, and they are currently showing 8 damage in the air. So that's, why didn't they use a second tap at end of turn? I could have actually just died to the Skyclave apparition. They should have tapped the second creature at the end of my turn. If they tap down to Etching of Kumano, then Skyclave apparition gets in a pretty clean attack, and it makes another Skyclave apparition off the top potentially lethal if they have a lord as well, right? Like if they were holding a Skyclave and their draw step is a Supreme Phantom, or if they have Coco and Coco hits Skyclave into Supreme Phantom, then I could very well have just died there, but now I'm live. So, and they can't, or they can, but they shouldn't reasonably attack into the face of my Kamano either, because it's going to come in with haste, and I'm going to get to attack here. So if their hand is 2 bricks or 1 brick in, like, I don't know, maybe 1 medium thing, like just a watcher or something, then they might just end up being very dead here. And obviously that's what we're hoping for as the opponent, but still, you know how that goes. Oh, it was a watcher, as a matter of fact. All right. Glad to see we're still very good at this. So now that they've got 3 mana, I have to assume it's not a spell queller, of course, because they already dug for a spell queller. But here they can attack me for just 3, I think. I think 3 is the only safe attack here. Oh, they're just not even going to take that. All right. In that case, give me a burn spell. That would be a burn spell. Honestly, I think I just say fuck it and point it at their face. Like, I don't actually think I have a reason to, like, chill and wait or anything like that, right? I am going to go to combat first, though, and see if they want to tap anything down. I'm, like, 95% sure that their hand is just basically not a spell queller here. Yeah, all right, let's see how they want to block here. Okay, and I am going to do this before they get to untap, so let's just see if it goes. I have to assume it's... Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say, I had to assume the card was not a spell queller, but, you know, just in case. So here we've got Rending Valleys, which are pretty good. I want Flame Blessed Bolts. We saw that they're playing the, what is that card called? The Watcher of the Spheres. We saw that already. Treasure Cruise is a card I do like, but I don't know that I need here. Chandra's a little medium. I only kind of want Kamano. It's not bad. I think I only kind of want Kamano, if I'm being honest. But I do want all the 1-drops I can get. Light Up the Stage is honestly only okay here. And I think Bone Crusher is my worst of the removal spells. And I'm putting in like 45 removal spells. So yeah, we're going to do this. So this keeps our threat count relatively high between like Kamano, our Prowess 1-drops, Ledger Shredder still really good. I've got 3 Bone Crusher Giants and then just like a mega fuck ton of removal. I don't know, that feels pretty decent. So let's do that against Man Spirits. So we're going to sideboard like that, put in a bunch of removal, take out some cards that mostly depend on other cards to actually be great. And to be fair, these cards are still pretty damn good, but I'd rather have just infinite 1 mana removal against this deck. Because, I mean, you know, we play Spirits, so y'all see what happens whenever I'm allowed to untap with 2 creatures at the same time. It does not end well for the opponent ever. But this hand is pretty good. So I'm going to keep this. The Kamano is a little medium, and I actually think I want to hold Kamano until turn 3 so that I can play Kamano, have Spectacle procced for my double Skewer the Critics, and that's also going to give me access to a Ledger Shredder Connive too, so that's pretty sweet. So a Breeding Pool tapped, oh man, that's great. So now I'm actually just going to get to handle a Watch of the Spheres. If that's their turn 2 play, I can just Flame Blessed Bolt it, and it looks like that's exactly what's happening here. Nope, that's a Supreme Phantom. All right, well, that's still fine actually, because now I can still just Kamano and then Skewer this thing, and not letting them untap with a Supreme Phantom in play is pretty good for us, so let's do that. And I can still do the thing next turn, right? Like I can Ledger Shredder and then Soulscar Mage, and that'll still give me a Connive. Also, Ledger Shredder will be a 2/4, which is really sick for Kamano. So I'm still pretty happy about where that goes. If this is another... Okay. Oh, that... Yeah, let's do that. So here I'm gonna Ledger Shredder, and Ledger Shredder is going to let my Flame Blessed Bolt have text now. Boop. And I want to skip out on the land. I have an Expressive in hand. So now what are we doing with this? Another Watcher, okay. And this last one is a Supreme Phantom, you got it. So the Supreme Phantom, Soulscar Mage, go away. Don't get me wrong, you're great. Just not what I want currently. So this is actively very good. So Kamano first to proc Spectacle. Spectacle is going to let me Skewer the Critics, the Supreme Phantom, and the Connive can get rid of the Bone Crusher Giant so that I can play with Fire the Watcher. And we want basically no part of our opponent having a board. And now I get to untap with access to Expressive Iteration. I have another sweet thing coming in here. And if this is just like a collected company, then for the most part, that's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Yeah, sure. And I'm actually going to Expressive first. A, I'm going to test for Spell Queller. B, this also allows, yeah, that's fine. Oh, I should have played the land actually and skipped out on a potential land drop here, because now if they find Mausoleum Wanderer a thing, oh, that's fine. That's actually fine. Rending Valley, Wild Slash. Wow, life. Okay. Wild Slash in hand. This at bottom of deck. This can be face up because I'm just gonna cast it now anyway. Go away. And I'm gonna get rid of the Steam Vents. Play this. And if they block the etching with this, then I'll be fine to just go ahead and trade the Wild Slash for it. That's whatever. All right. So now I've got a 4/6 versus their 2-card hand. And to be fair, they can just do that. Yeah, I was going to say they can just Skyclave away my Ledger Shredder, and that's actually okay for them. So now I'm just going to go ahead and attack into this thing and see if they have a way to... Oh, they're actually going to give me... I'll take a 2/2 token. That's fine. I don't need etching to be etching. And that actually plays a little better for me, because now if I get a removal spell, I'm going to have this and a token, not just a token. My hand's empty, so I'm just going to press 6 and let this rock. That's a removal spell. All right, look at us go. So here I think I'm just going to attack with Ledger Shredder and not walk myself into a very easy Rattle Chains. Is this another Coco? It is. Okay, so... Now the Coco can find a Lord in something else, so I'm just going to do this now. Because if they find a Supreme Phantom, then that Skyclave's going to be 3 toughness, and I'm not going to be able to do anything there. Here, okay, and that's it. Let's go. All right, so what we're watching here is a relative clinic on why I don't like playing Coco myself. Like, the card is so bad for me all the time. I actually don't think I have a solid attack here. If they have a 3rd Coco and they actually find things, then attacking with all will just get me dead. And attacking into this with just a Rattle Chains will get my Ledger Shredder dead on its own. So I'm actually just going to pass the turn here. And I'm going to keep the Shivan Reef in hand so that I can connive it away if need be. We have a lot of time though. Like, they're at 6, I'm at 18. They don't really have much of a clock going on. Them just untapping probably means they're holding a Spell Queller. Expressive. Okay, so... assuming they're holding a Spell Queller, I'm actually going to chill on the Expressive iteration until I have a way to get rid of it. So if I draw, oh, I don't know, something like a Rending Valley, a Skewer the Critics, or just like a second spell I actually want to cast for the purposes of Connive, then I think I'm okay with that. And Otawara is not the worst for our Adenida Bugbear. Okay, that's a land I will play. Actually, that's really good for us. So let's pass the turn, and we're just going to kind of chill here for a bit. I don't really feel like letting our opponent just like eat up our board here. Okay, let's do the untap. Shivan Reef. Nowhere near what the doctor's ordering here. I can force an attack with Den of the Bugbear. Is that good? What can they play if I attack with Den of the Bugbear? They can play a Spell Queller and have it be empty and block just fine, and I don't need to have that happen, so no, I will not attack with Den of the Bugbear. Yeah, because I can't currently do much about a 3/4, so I'm not going to give our opponent the opportunity to really do things with it. And I have to assume their hand is also containing a Rattle Chains. They've got 4 cards in hand, and they also haven't cast like a Collect a Company or anything, so... Okay, so there's a Mausoleum Wanderer, so that's a good start. It's a 2/2. I would still really appreciate... not that. I mean, to be fair, that actually is not bad. That is not bad. It's just not what I want right now. Next turn, though, I can fire off Den of the Bugbear and then maybe post-combat do an Expressive, and that's probably okay. But the Mausoleum Wanderers, I think it's actually going to give me a little bit of a hard time. Yeah, because I'm not going to be able to, like, Den of the Bugbear plus spell in the face of the Mausoleum Wanderer, and I'm definitely not walking my Ledger Shredder into that, so you can just have your 2 damage. Alright, so everything's still instant speed for our opponent here. Steam Vents. Deck, please stop. There's not that many lands in you. So I was just counting. So what I was counting is if I were to fire up Den of the Bugbear, attack with it, I have exactly 3 mana left over, which is not enough to Expressive and pay for it after sacrificing that. So I think there's really not much benefit to... Okay, so there's a Spell Queller. That is a thing that we kind of saw coming earlier. So I'm at least glad to be right about that. Dang, I was kind of hoping they'll play a second spell so I could connive. Because I'm like, I really just don't want this Steam Vents. So now they can attack me for 5? Nope, just 3. We're playing really safe. Okay, that's... Nope, it's 5. Okay, so I'm gonna go to 11. I'm not doing anything about this Mausoleum Wanderer attack still. And let's draw another spell, please. That's actually a pretty good spell. So I can cast an expressive iteration. They will definitely want to do something about this. If they can, if not, even better. So let's see if they want to spell queller this. And it looks like the answer is yes. Okay, you got it. So now I'm going to try to cast another one. And then I can pay for 3. I'm really hoping Monastery Swift Spear. That's not great. Oh my god, that's great. All right, so you hand bottom exile. So now if they have rattle chains, that's annoying, but like no. Oh, security critics. That's pretty good too. Get rid of play with fire. So yeah, you're allowed. So now the security critics, I'm gonna be pointing that towards the Empyrean Eagle, and they can just get rid of the Mausoleum Wanderer to do that. Oh, I haven't dealt them damage. Damn. Oh, that skewer is really bad now. Now I think I'm just dead. All right, let's move to game 3. I think that's honestly like fine as far as the loss goes. We are on the play. I think being on the play makes my Chandras a little better. Yeah, being on the draw with Chandra, I think is actively really bad against a card like, say, oh, what card am I thinking of? Spell Queller, duh. I think Chandra on the draw is really bad against Spell Queller, but Chandra on the play is pretty good because I can land Chandra before our opponent can Spell Queller it away. And I'm a little tempted to put a Bone Crusher Giant back in, but I'm not going to do that. I think that's just like full wilding. It is better on the play than it is on the draw, but I still don't think it's great. So yes, I would like to play first, and this hand is actively pretty good. So I can Soul Scar Mage to start with, and then depending on what my opponent does, I can either Bone Crusher their threat, or I can double Kamano, and either way, that's pretty exciting. And our opponent's taking a mulligan to 6, which is the shit that we like. That's one of those things that you do really get to see though. Like the Collected Company misses aside, it's really nice to see that the Spirits lists can just, you know, protect the living shit out of our own creatures, right? Like you can play Rattle Chains to get around the cool things like Rending Valleys. You can play the Spell Quellers to get rid of the coolest spells that we have available, like Expressive Iterations. Overall, it's just a really impressive deck, and I understand that we're not playing Spirits today, but Portable Hole is, I guess, fine. Den of the Bugbear. And now if I cast the Bone Crusher Giant, right, it's just gonna be, what, a 6/4? That's huge. That's so big. That's what she said, but you know, sometimes you gotta be 14 years old, right? So I can't kill that with Stomp, so I'm just gonna have a, oh, I'm sorry, 6/5. Did I say 6/4? I probably said 6/4. Hopefully this isn't like a Skyclave Apparition. Please don't actually be a Skyclave Apparition. I really like my thing right now. Okay, good. That's a blue source. Another Supreme Phantom and a Mausoleum. Okay, so they've got a pretty good aggressive start too. If I draw a removal spell for one of these Supreme Phantoms, I'm gonna be really excited about that. Okay. No, that counts. Because now if they want to do the blocks, right? Like they can technically trade off Mausoleum Wanderer for Flame Blessed Bolt, and that's okay too. As it stands, I'm gonna be able to just play this. And, oh, this is only 3 power. Never mind. They can't dodge this. Duh. All right, in that case, I'm just going to get everything. Let's attack. 1, 2, 3. Get in there, little friends. And if they want to, like, block here, take 6, then I'll still be really happy to just kind of clean everything up. And I'm going to do this pre-combat so that they are tempted to sacrifice the Mausoleum. I don't think they're going to do it, but, you know, the temptation's there at least. So we do this. We can pay to 3. I'm going to get to clean up both creatures. And they will have more cards in hand than I do. I still think that's mostly okay as long as they don't hit like a crazy Collected Company on me or something. And I'm still going to get to resolve this Kamano, which is nice. A 6/5 is still pretty big. If they had a Skyclave Apparition, I'd or slashed a mana for it. And I definitely believe they would have gotten rid of my Bone Crusher Giant pretty much immediately instead of double casting here, but let's see what happens. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna get to, holy shit. Yes, I'm paying 3. Oh my god, I cannot believe that went. Okay. Oh, we take those. Sorry, opponent. That was not on the list of things I expected to work. Okay, so they do have the Skyclave for the Bone Crusher anyway. Annoying. All right, so now I will take a removal spell if you got it, deck. That counts. Thank you. I guess Kamano can go first. And I don't know that it matters which of the creatures they block with. If they block, then I'll be able to play with fire, and I'll be pretty happy about it. If they block with Supreme Phantom, I'll be... yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Especially since I get to do this now before they actually get to, excuse me, before they actually get to untap with Rattle Chains. So I'm going to get my 3/3 token, and they can't Skyclave a token either, which is nice. So with their 2 cards, they can do a lot though. They can Coco, that's honestly okay. Yeah, I don't really care about that. Expressive, oh my god, that's so good. All right, well, and I get to do this while they're empty. Dak, bruh. Oh god, what am I supposed to do with this? All right, anyway, oh, we are so bad at Magic sometimes, I feel like. Like, what was I supposed to do with that? All right, and I will trade you for the Supreme Phantom, so if you want to double block it, then I'll pretty happily eat the Supreme Phantom. Oh, they're just gonna go to 6. Well, shit, that rocks too. So now I'm showing a lot of power and toughness on the table, right? Like, I still have my illusion token. Kamano's gonna come face up. Watcher of the Spheres is fine. So if they want to attack me for 1 or 3, they can. They're not going to. That's okay too. Removal? Come on, man. But sometimes life gets to be a, you know, little ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, and I don't really mind doing it like this, right? Like, I can go ahead and just get off a relatively clean attack. If they want to trade off some of their creatures for really any of these, then I'm pretty excited. Like, Supreme Phantom get a pretty clean block on my Goblin token. The Watchers can clean up my X2s, and then they still take 3, and now they're stuck looking at my Illusion token to their Supreme Phantom only. Like, that's not bad. And if you want to do these 2 blocking here, then I'm still going to be pretty happy about that, because I'm going to eat the Supreme Phantom. I don't really care about Watcher of the Spheres too much at this point in the game. It's basically just like an above average creature, which is certainly good enough for me. Okay, so they are going to do that. So their Watchers are both gone. They take 3, they go to 3, and it's now going to come down to a little bit of a top deck war, except for the fact that I have the bigger creature right now. Actually, that's fine. Come on, man. What? Oh, okay. I actually thought they were just like moving to combat, and I'm like, why are you letting me attack? I guess I'll just play the mountain. Deck, I just want like a removal spell. Crap, now I have cards in hand. This is gonna suck. This is gonna suck less. All right. So now they're gonna get to tap my friend, which is super unfortunate for me. And my Rending Valley, though, it's gonna be pretty good. I can cast it end of turn to take care of their Shacklegeist and then force them to block. If they, that doesn't change anything. If they have a Spell Queller or Rattle Chains to protect Shacklegeist, then I am going to get blown out. I don't think that changes anything about my math. I mean, I'm just going to Rending Valley now so that I'm not down to 11. But I am going to be the saddest if this is a Rattle Chains or a Spell Queller. But I can't do anything about either of those cards. Oh, hell yeah, let's go. All right, well, that's exciting. Another removal? No, we're not. We are supremely not lucky. Okay. All right. Let's try to get an attack in, I guess. And once again, I will trade this for just Supreme Phantom, so if they want to double block, I'm actually okay with that. Keep it as is. Unfortunately, the card in my hand was not a removal spell, and a Soul Scar Mage is going to have to do it, so man, we are having a go of it, huh? Okay, they drew an island, so they bricked, and they probably just got to chill, right? Like, any burn spell plus prowess means they're just dead on the spot. That plays. So let's... Oh, you know what? I probably should have played the land first. I don't think there's anything that could have come from that, but just in case. We're at 2. Okay. What did we have? Rending Valley? Rending Valley did not catch a Spell Queller or Rattle Chains, and they played Island. So I'm just going to stomp their face here. Sick. Let's go. All right. So 1-0 over Bant Spirits, and let's move to the next round. That was a lot tougher than it should have been. All right, round 2, we're on the draw. Stevo Bobevo, that's a super cute username. And what do we got going on here? Actually, this hand's fine. Got a 1-drop I want to play, a 2-drop I want to play, follow up with Kamano and light up the stage for turn 3. All in all, not bad. And our opponent's taking a mulligan, so yeah, I don't know, we take those. So let's see if this hand isn't being pretty good. Also, the Ledger Shredder powering up the Treasure Cruise for much later in the game, not the worst. All right, so let's see what our opponent's up to. We saw a Gigantha, which means what? They could be Niv Mizzet, they could be Jeskai Ascendancy combo, they could be a lot of things. Blood Crypt, so we're just playing black-red mid-range but with Gigantha? I don't know if that's actual information of any sort. Black-red with Gigantha, that means, oh, no Sorin and no Chandra? So are they the sacrifice deck then? Because Anvil, Upnixilus, what in the I no longer know things about things. I no longer know what's happening here. So I'm just going to do this, and in post-combat, I'll play a Ledger Shredder. And I suppose I'll be pretty happy about this. The only way I end up being particularly sad about this is if they untap and, like, I don't know, Deafening Clarion, I guess, is a sweeper they could be playing. So, I don't know, don't Deafening Clarion me. Although I do see red and white mana, so that's totally a possibility. Man, they kept this hand with Gigantha revealed, no green sources, so no Sylvan Caryatid even possible. And we're playing at least a 4-color soup deck of some sort, I guess? So what's this? Like Vanishing Verse mana, a land is Deafening Clarion mana. Anything could happen, really. Like, they could be playing freaking Oath of Kaya, but they're not Yorion, so I doubt that. But I don't know. I'm just gonna wait. Anything's possible at this point. Hinterland Harbor, so there's the green source. Oh, and there's a Sylvan Caryatid. Okay. So glad to see that we at least still know what things are. So I'm going to go ahead and play my land untapped here, and I'm just going to Swift Spear since I don't have any... I don't have any way to clear this anyway. So I'm just going to do this, get my Connive on, get my Prowess triggers on, and we can get rid of, I guess, the Play with Fire, but let's actually see what we draw before making that. River Glide Pathway. I don't particularly want that. So I'm going to get to resolve this. That nugs them for 1. Light Up the Stage is active, but if they block one of my Swift Spears with this, then I'll just Play with Fire their face and get rid of it. So let's do that. Are you going to block? You should block. They're not going to block. Let's go ahead and light up the stage then. So, Skewer and Chandra, that's not bad. So here I can still get sweepered, right? Like they can Bring to Light, and Bring to Light can fetch a, I don't know, a Clarion, a not Shadow's Verdict, not Supreme Verdict. Shadow's Verdict, Supreme Verdict, everything's a verdict. Languish is double black. Oh, Extinction Event. That's not double black, but that also doesn't kill everything. We're going down to 10. Are we just playing a Niv Mizzet? This has to be a Bring to Light, right? Okay, it is. So Bring to Light, and I have to assume this is like a Deafening Clarion, right? Like, oh no, they can get Tulsamir, and Wolf can fight my Ledger Shredder. Oh no, it's a Clarion. Okay, sick. Oh my god, that's gonna be a 2/4. Oh, let's go. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my god. Ledger Shredder, let's go! All right, well, that's exciting. So now I'm gonna get to resolve this Chandra. Chandra's gonna get to plus, target you, and I can Skewer, also target you, getting rid of the Shivan Reef. I want to keep my Light Up the Stage and Play with Fire. Yeah, go to 4, I guess. Oh, I could have just kept the land and cast Treasure Cruise. Whoops. I could have just gotten rid of this, kept the land. Yeah, okay, I'm dumb. Whoops. Attack. So yeah, whatever. You're at 4. I have Treasure Cruise unlocked in hand. Lots and lots of stuff to do. Power showing. This can flip face up. Omnath. F. All right, so they're gonna go up to 8. But actually, I think I'm honestly still completely fine. Are you creature or player? Player or planeswalker? Okay, so no is the answer to that, which means that I should do this first, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Broken. God, this card's so stupid. I'll be honest, that was actually kind of bad. Let's, I guess, light up the stage first then. Get rid of Ledger Shredder number 2. Oh yeah, duh. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, what am I doing? Okay, we're good. Whatever. Top, I guess. Doesn't actually matter. They're dead. One dead opponent coming right up. Sick. Yeah, Treasure Cruise. Really stupid magic card. Against the soup decks, I want Spell Pierces. I guess I want Chandra's. And that's really it, though. I don't want any of this other stuff. Things that I don't particularly want against them. Bone Crusher Giant's very mid. And I guess I'll take out this Wild Slash. Yeah, because like their deck doesn't actually play cards that are weak to this removal. Like their Mana Dorks are Sylvan Caryatids, which have hexproof, and even if they didn't have hexproof, Bone Crusher only does 2, and so does Wild Slash. But Play with Fire, when I point that at their face, can at least do the thing where I get to scry. So, excuse me. So we are going to side like this. Bone Crusher Giants and Wild Slash out. We actively want Chandras and Spell Pierces so that we can prepare for a longer game. Hopefully we don't need a longer game, but we're prepared for it. But man, that Ledger Shredder, oh my god, that was insane, right? Like, Bring to Light just took it out of Deafening Clarion. What is this? What am I supposed to do with this? All right, well, this has got to go. Oh man, this is gotta be like top 1 or 2 worst possible hands with this deck, right? Like, this is absolute dog shit. I stand by my statement. The other hand is actually still worse than this. Mulligan again. Yeah, whatever. You got me. I want to keep my Monastery Swiftspear and skip out on one of these because I'm not even guaranteed to be able to cast it anyway. So we'll just play like this and kind of see what happens. It'll be cool if I end up drawing a land though, because the land will allow me to have access to Kamano plus light up the stage. So let's see if that ends up working out here. But if I don't draw a land and they Caryatid, then I'm pretty sad. But let's see what happens before I start complaining more. Unfortunately, that does near nothing for me, right? So I guess I'm just going to be playing this. That's sad times. But I guess this is kind of what I meant about the Sylvan Caryatid, just like, you know, being one of those kind of unsolvable problems. Like, if we're on the draw and we don't actually see something good, then this Caryatid's going to be able to ruin our day pretty quickly. So let's see what we can do about this. What are you, a Vanishing Verse? What are we doing here? Cannonball! All right, well, that sucks. Yikes. What can I do about that? I can attack and see if they want to trade with my Play with Fire. Please, for the love of God, block. Oh, I probably should have just not played the land if I was going to do this, right? This sucks. Campbell's so bad for me. So I get to at least flip cup the Swiftspear, the Kamano into a 2/2 with haste. Let's see, I have access to double Play with Fire, so that will get the Campbell off the table, but this is still really bad for me. God, that card's like borderline unbeatable too. I don't even know that I shouldn't put in Rending Valley just for that. Actual bonkers against me. We are Kolaghan's Command. I guess I'll discard the Chandra that I am literally never going to get to cast. If my draw step's not a creature, I actually just think it's probably right to go to game 3. I think I am going to go to game 3 as a matter of fact. I'm not going to play around with that. Let's take out the Play with Fires. And I will put in Rending Valleys, and there's a lot of creatures in their deck that this doesn't have much text against, and it comes at the expense of not being able to play with fire their face. I have close to no other 1-card solutions for Campbell, and hopefully we don't mull to 5 this time. It's not good, but I'm in. Like, this hand could really use just like a Ledger Shredder or something else so that I can actually have a decent little start here. Our opponent's mulling too, which is pretty nice. You know, we have 0 games in which both players get to actually play Magic with their full number of cards. But unfortunately for us, their cards are generally a lot better than ours are. So all they have to do is resolve just like one absolute banger of a Magic card. And I don't actually think this matters, but okay, no portable hole or anything. That's a good start. Soulscar Mage. All right, so we're going to just put lots and lots of power and toughness on the table. And here, if I can draw something super nice, like say a Kamano or something, then I'll be really glad to just kind of like duff them for 1,000,000 if possible. So they have the Caryatid. That's fine. A little sad that you know, that's on me for not playing the Steam Vent on turn 2, though. Like, I knew that was a possibility. So I kind of deserve that. So, oh man, come on. You're going in my hand. Come on, Magic. What are you doing to me? Hand, library, exile, I guess. So opponent takes 4, probably 6 actually. I don't think they actually block here. Yeah, they didn't. And I don't think I want to Skewer the Critics. I'm going to save Skewer the Critics in case Campbell comes out this turn. That way I can at least kill the Campbell, only take 2 in the process, and then just resume my attacks. If this is a Deafening Clarion and I die because I didn't play Steam Vents instead of River Glide Pathway or Basic Mountain, then Honestly, I deserve that. Obviously, hoping I don't get punished like that, but it was wrong. Okay, so there's the combo. So I can at least solve that. That is a solved problem. That's a very well solved problem, actually. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this. I'm not gonna. Let's get my good card resolved. Kill you. 1, 2, 3. You go to 8. And hopefully I can untap with Chandra still in play. If they play another combo, I'm actually okay because I have the skewer. And I can plus for something too. So like there's actually a lot of benefit I have from this. Oh, you know what I can do? This adds 2 mana, not 1. So I can actually go 1, 2, 3, 4, activate Den, and hold up Spell Pierce / Skewer. So that's kind of cool. That's actually, I think, a better plan. Nope, they have another Campbell. Oh, that plays. All right, well, get dead. Yeah, you go to 10. All right. Hooray, Rending Valley. We did the smart thing. Top card doesn't actually matter. Actually, it does for prowess. It does for prowess. And it still triggers my skewers just fine. All right. Get very, very dead. Jesus. Campbell is awful to play against. But hey, we're 2-0, so let's keep it going. So we're having a pretty good time today. We're having a lot of fun watching Magic, lots of content, lots of commentary, and I really, really appreciate the fact that y'all are sticking around for all of this. To appreciate that, I just want y'all to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and make sure to read the video description because that's where all the good information is going to be. Things like today's deck list, contact information, and the invite link to our Discord server will all be right in the video description. So check that stuff out. Also, we have a couple of cool things going on. I'm setting up a Patreon, we have a merch shop, and lots more to come, including soon a second YouTube channel. Look forward to all of that, and let's get right back into the content. All right, so we got our third round. We're on the draw against a Gigantha list of some sort. This hand is not great. Let's ship it. Oh no, not like this. All right, so I guess this is what we're keeping, and I'm gonna ship one of these, and is it Kamano? I think it is Kamano. Yeah, that's easily my worst thing, right? So fingers crossed, I guess. This is gonna be a little rough. Ketria Triome. All right, so it looks like we're playing against another one of those 5-color piles. And if this is a turn 2, whatever that card's called, Sylvan Caryatid, then it's gonna suck to be us. But Rogan Triome? Okay. Oh, you know what? If they're playing Rogan Triome and Ketria Triome and Opt in the same list, I think we're playing against one of the combo decks. I don't think we're actually fighting the, what am I thinking? I don't think we're fighting, like, any of the mid-range lists. Like, this is probably just, maybe it's Jeskai Ascendancy. That'd be kind of cool. Haven't seen that in a while. It'd be less cool if they have Deafening Clarion here, but nevertheless, if our opponent could have something other than Deafening Clarion here, that'd be great. Oh, please don't. Oh. That's still not great, but it's better. Oh, well, all right. I guess I'll get rid of Bone Crusher. That has the least text here. They can still get rid of my Ledger Shredder, which is kind of obnoxious. It's kind of really obnoxious, actually. That like was almost my entire aggro plan here. So let's play with fire here. Scry before we end up having to light up the stage, and then seeing what light up the stage digs us into. Ledger Shredder. That's actively pretty good, actually. So I'm gonna cast this. Go to Prowess 3, which is nice. Or Power 3, Prowess 2. And I'm going to play the Den of the Bugbear. So let's get our attack on. And unfortunately, our card quality is looking a little sparse now. To be fair, we did multi 5, but that doesn't mean I can't complain about it, right? So what's this? It is Jeskai Ascendancy. Okay. That is kind of what I thought was happening here, but so I'm going to play Ledger Shredder first. This way, playing the Swift Spear second, I can go ahead and connive just fine. So let's play our land, let's play the Swift Spear. Now I actually get to connive. The cool part about the doing it like this too. Oh crap, I'm stupid. Should have discarded the spell. Now I'm vulnerable to Deafening Clarion again. I mean, Spire Bluff Canal really sucks, so that's what I was thinking when I went on autopilot and discarded it, but that doesn't mean that this was any way, shape, or form correct. So if they see like a Sylvan Awakening, then we're just dead anyway. Okay, that's fine. We were never beating that anyway. So game 1 goes to Jeskai Ascendancy. Here we can play Spell Pierces. Dilemma. I'm going to only put in Chandra. I could put in Rending Valley because this deck does play Omnath. Actually, no, that's worth. We're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to take out the Bone Crusher Giants. Those have almost no text. And we're going to take out one of the one Wild Slash. Yeah. And hopefully we can keep 7 this time, because honestly, this matchup is probably fine as long as we can keep Jeskai Ascendancy off the table with something like Spell Pierce and Omnath off the table with something like Chandra. There. So now we have our sideboard plan listed. We're going to put in the blue cards and Chandras, take out the cards that have little to no text in this matchup. And Bone Crusher Giant's still really good, just, you know, not here where their only creatures are going to be 2/2s that have Indestructible from the Awakening. What is this? What? Come on, man. Was this my mull? This is like the same hand. I mean, all right, I guess. Keep this, ship a Skewer, and play this. Well, let's see if we can draw a Ledger Shredder then. That'd be really good because it'll... I mean, the Spell Pierce is not bad. I'm going to get no benefit off of this, which kind of stinks. But I guess I'm just gonna... And I don't need to play this untapped, right? Like, there's no non-creature spell I need to worry about here, I think. Man, that was lackluster. So if they, I don't know, untapped land, portable hole this, no. Okay, Sylvan Caryatid sucks, but I can't do much about that. So what can I do here? I can... Okay, so there's the Ledger Shredder I was looking for previously, but that's still not actually good. I can do this, cast you, and there's no reason to cast that right now, so I'm not going to. Let's just pass the turn here. So the Spell Pierce is gonna be pretty decent. I want my opponent to opt and then try to cast Jeskai Ascendancy. That way I can Ledger Shredder and Spell Pierce. That would be super optimal. So if you could be cooperative, that's not cooperative. Yeah, sucks to be us. Okay. Man, there's not going well. I can also draw a land here. No, I can't. Okay. We cannot draw a land here. So what can I do? I can just jam Chandra, because honestly, I assume that these 3 lands are just going to be the Cycle of Triumph. I can jam Chandra, tick up, and then Soulscar Mage. Yeah, I think that's probably my best route to victory here, is by just like making them have something. Target you, jam a Soulscar Mage, and then I guess we basically just start from here, because otherwise we have little to no offense, and they're still at 18, so this is going to be difficult. Like, the mulligans are absolutely dog shit this game, if I'm being completely honest. And them having portable hole for my Ledger Shredders have not actually been helping things. So what's this? Another Caryatid, okay. Another one that I can't really do too much about. So I actually never read the ultimate for this thing either. I just realized. Giganta, okay. Exile the top 5 cards. You can cast red spells this turn. You get an emblem with whenever you cast one. Oh, that's pretty good actually. I want to cast something. It's a Spell Pierce. Yo, I swear, we cannot make these draws up. So they block 2, take 1, and I actually think I can't cast a Skewer here because I think I need to hold it for Giganta in case I draw like another good spell, right? If they cast something that's not Giganta, then I can hopefully Spell Pierce something relevant, maybe? Not happening. Got it. Noted. Fabled Passage is actually kind of obnoxious. I hope they're just going to try to cast Sylvan Awakening here. All right, they're playing around Spell Pierce. This sucks. Untap. Expressive. That's not nothing. So let's try it. Not much else to do here. Expressive will resolve. I want to put you in hand. Bottom. Oh, Andre. I don't have to do it in that order. Target you. Use the mana. And I'm definitely not casting Skewer here, right? I think I just let them block and then take the 1. Or do I Skewer, get my double prowess up, and then have Soulscar Mage at least threaten something here? That does make the best use of my mana, but if their entire plan is Giganta, then I get no benefit of a draw step. So, because I get to see a bunch of cards next turn in the hopes that I can dig my way into a removal spell for Giganta if it just like hits the table right. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my thing. I think I just like make them take 1 and then cry about it. We are getting our ass kicked this game. Okay, well that plays 2. So that plays around like an instant of some sort. So they're just gonna take the 2 then. And we're gonna pass. Is it just Cycling a Triumph? It is, okay, sure. That's what I thought they were doing previously when they had the Consider in hand, but oh well. So our Chandra is at 6 though, so like it's still not like great, but it's definitely not nothing either. They have the Sylvan Awakening. All right, looks like we're dead. Yeah, I'm not going to make them do all of that. So let's go ahead and concede here. And yeah, that was unfortunate. But, you know, shit happens. Sometimes your hand is just really bad. But let's move on to the next round. All right, round 4, we get the die roll here against Chamiko. Our hand is, again with these one-landers, but I'm going to keep this one on the play, light up the stage, etc., etc. So let's see if we can get away with one, basically, is what I'm getting at here. So we're going to cast Soulscar Mage, and then really just kind of see what happens here. What is our opponent going to be doing? Temple Garden, Elvish Mystic. Okay, so Temple Garden, Elvish Mystic means that we're likely playing against the Winota deck. So let's attack here, get our damage through, and I am going to cast a light up the stage. Oh, all right. So now what happens here? Brutal Cathar, Innkeeper. Okay, so I have no way of keeping Winota off the table is what you're getting at. Got it. And a Voice of Resurgence. Nice. Just in case we... Okay, well, that's actually pretty good. So I can attack. If they block with Voice of Resurgence, I can Bonecrusher Giant the Elvish Mystic and then forfeit these cards. If they don't block, then I can cast both of these cards. So let's do that. So we get an attack in. Let's see what they choose to do. They do nothing, which is awesome for us. I'm going to cast my Soulscar Mage, and then we're going to skewer with Spectacle target here. So now at least the Winota is not a threat for this turn. It's still going to be a thing coming up soon, but at the very least, we're able to play around that for right now. So I still got to figure something out over the next 2 turns, because 2 lands is really not going to be good enough to deal with what all of what's coming, you know. But what's this? Is that a Brutal Cathar? That's fine. Eldritch Evolution. Well, fuck my life, right? Oh my, I haven't seen that in a while. Holy shit. All right, so this is going to suck. So they get the attack. They're going to get to do the thing. Hopefully they don't find a freaking Grave Titan. Oh, sick. And a Steam Vents. Okay, what can I do with the Steam Vents? I can cast this and attack both. Yeah, this is great. So if they block, I'm going to get to Bonecrusher Giant Winota, reducing its power toughness by 2 from Soulscar Mage's text, and that'll finish it. And if they don't block with anything, then I still get to Bonecrusher Giant plus Skewer. So I'm still going to do this pre-combat so that I get prowess triggers. Okay. And then, hello, please die in a literal fire. Worked out as well as could be asked, but if this is just like another Winota, then it sucks to be me, right? Okay, a cat car. A cat car is still pretty bad, but it could be a lot worse. So I'll simply take this, and actually that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So now I can Swift Spear, and click a button. Doop, 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 doo. So now let's see what happens. If they crew the cat car and block, I'll be pretty happy to Bonecrusher Giant that. If they do this, oh my god, I get to just stomp this, right? Like, this is going to go up to a 2-3, and yeah. No, because either way, that's going to get to live. I can't do anything about that, so I may as well do this. So I don't have a way to straight up kill everything, but I can kill most of the stuff. So like, that still rocks pretty hard. They take 6, they go to 7. I've got a couple of Bone Crushers on deck. They will get to potentially play 1 or 2 more creatures and recrew the Isika's Chariot, but like, you know, all things considered, this isn't that bad. Kind of wish I had a way to get rid of that too, but, you know, can't just have all these all the time. All right, what are we doing in main phase 2 opponent? We are playing a land and Mage's Attendant. That's kind of cool, not gonna lie. Yeah, all right, I respect it. That is one of the cooler things I've seen. I wish I had 1 more land so I could like Ledger Shredder, Bone Crusher, and then go from there. But as it stands, I guess I'm just gonna cast this thing. So we are still in a little bit of trouble here, and I can't really get an attack in either. I don't want to just sacrifice my 2 Soulscar Mages. If I had a spell of some sort, then I'd be pretty happy to do that, but I, you know, don't. Brutal Cathar, okay, so that takes out my, I guess, Bone Crusher, but honestly, that's okay. So I do take the attack from, oh god, they're gonna just make giant elementals, aren't they? Well, that's kind of gross. Oh man, maybe I should have left my opponent with cats earlier, shit. All right, well, now they're going to have 2 7/7s that I'm going to have a hard time getting over. That sucks. Do I block with all 4 of these and give them? Nah. How do I get over this now? I'll light up the stage. Unfortunately, that's not very helpful, but I don't have anything better to do, so I'm going to cast this. Wait a minute. They didn't leave themselves with that many blockers. So maybe I can draw 2 spells off to light up the stage and Prowess my way to victory? Question mark? Maybe? I will be doing that. Land. Come on. Come on. Why? Oh my god. All right. So, and I can only get through 2 damage here because yeah, land. All right, fine. Game 2. Jeez. All right, so Flame Blessed Bolts and Rending Volleys are all going to be really good here, and I don't know that I want Chandra here. I think she might be just a tad too slow for what I want, but these are all going to be excellent. Like Flame Blessed Bolt exiling Voice of Resurgence is going to be a pretty big deal. Things I don't necessarily want in this matchup include actually Light Up the Stages and Skewers I think are the worst cards for me here. And I can get rid of like 1 Chandra. Chandra's also like not fantastic. Actually, I'm going to get rid of the other Chandra and bring this in. Yeah, like 4 damage to a Winota is a pretty big deal when it's on a Planeswalker too. So that's actually like a thing. So let's do that. Here we go. There's our relatively robust sideboard plan against Winota. And let's see if these removal spells end up being good enough. On to play, please keep 7. Oh, alright, this is much better. I'm still mad though. So we're going to keep this. I guess I'm going to ship the Steam Vents. Nah, the Shift and Reef. But man, I am still big mad about that. But yeah, our hands have been, to be completely honest, fucking disastrous this entire time. I don't really have a nice way to say that. That's basically been exactly what they have been. So at least we get to do this. Like we have 1 drop, 2 drop, expressive iteration afterwards. So all things considered, this is pretty manageable, but I expect that I'm gonna need to see a removal spell for a Voice of Resurgence pretty quickly here. If they have that, then yeah, that sucks. If this is a copy of Prosperous Innkeeper, I'll also appreciate getting that off the table. I guess fine. More lands. Okay. This is what we're doing today. Okay. So at least we can play a lot of things. So I want this in my hand. I want that on the bottom and I want that in exile. And I can just go ahead this here, prowess up, and get rid of one of my 3 Steam Vents. I don't expect to need all of that. But now I need another spell to accompany this play with fire too. So if they just cast like, give me a Flame Blessed Bolt, please. That'd be wonderful. You know what? Actually, okay, that's honestly fine. So I can do this, prowess up, play the other one to kill the token, connive, maybe draw like a Rending Volley or something to get rid of a Winota, and then get a pretty decent attack in. So like that's not optimal, but it's not nothing. I guess it is when we can't catch any breaks, but I will actually play that, so. Man, this deck is absolutely wild in today. Like, we are just finding some extremely bullshit draws today. So, I guess I'll be glad to draw what? I'm actually going to save that and just attack for 1. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to keep this in my hand though. So this isn't that bad. If they kind of cast 2 spells, I might be able to connive away the Steam Vents. If they play something pre-combat, like a, I don't know, Legion War Boss or something that can proc this, then I do at least have the Wild Slash to deal with that. So all's not lost. If this is like a cat car though, then yeah, I'm going to complain. If this is a Grave Titan for 6, then that really sucks. Oh, come on. That's still sucks, but it could be worse. It could be worse than just Grave Titan. Like, I'm not happy about this. Like, it's bigger than everything I'm doing, but it could be a lot worse than this. So let's untap a Bone Crusher, so I can at least get rid of both the tokens. I think I get rid of 1 token and just cast Bone Crusher Giant. That's probably a little better if I'm being honest. Yeah, I think I like that better. So let's just cast you. And doing it like this means that if they go to cast, like, I don't know, a Brutal Cathar or something at me, then I can Wild Slash and unlock my flyer. So like, it's still bad, but it's not just nothing. And if they untap and just like cast a Winota at me, then I already can't do anything about that. So let's do some finger crossing and see what happens here. They also, I don't think they can attack me with this either, so that's at least good. Yeah, all right. What do? Wolf fights target creature you don't control. Got it. So let's try to get some attacks in then. Just that attack, I believe. I don't think I can attack with this, right? Because like, even if I get to target this with a spell, it still just is like a 5/5. Yeah, all right. So what can I do here? Cast the 2 spells? Yeah, I think I have to cast the 2 spells. And if I do this, they respond by fighting, but then at least it's not nighttime. Still not great. Oh, I think I did that in the wrong order. I should have Flame Blessed Bolt so that I could Wild Slash their face. Instead, I guess I just do this. Because now the Prowess is going to make it so that the fight isn't that great for them. So I'm going to have a 2-3, and it's going to fight their 2-2. No! Come on! Oh, man. Chandra, you betrayed me. I really needed you. Okay, so I guess it's good that they're still drawing lands, but man. So now how do we get out of this? We can draw a Treasure Cruise. That would be really good. Expressive would be good. Treasure Cruise would be good. Maybe this is a light up the stage matchup. So they're just going to get to transform, right? And this is going to become a 5-5 when they transform. Oh, never mind. They cast a spell. Oh, all right. Well, at least I'm not drawing that for the turn. And this does not proc Winota, so that's at least good. But let's untap here. Spell, 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 spell. I did ask for a spell. I should have been more specific. So I get to attack with these two at least. If they want to block with either Grave Titan or Winota on this, then I'm pretty okay with that. I think they actually have to so that they don't risk a, yeah. And then I get to just like cast this at least. And this does threaten a somewhat real clock, but Winota attacking with even one creature is pretty bad for us. So I'm really just kind of hoping that this turns into a lot of nothing. That's the opposite of nothing. So at least I get to do this, right? Like I get to block this, that's fine. It's a 2-2 on a 3-3. This, I get to just eat this. A Flame Blessed Bolt. Wait, what? They didn't cast any spells? No, they didn't cast any spells. Okay. So I guess I just attack with both, and if they block here, I get to Flame Blessed Bolt Winota. Yeah, all right. Let's do that. So attacks, they don't even bother blocking. Oh my god. All right. And I don't have 2 spells to cast either, so I got. You got me. Poops. Poops, poops, poops. So now what? If they... I'm dead to a lot of flips here. What do they flip? Oh, that's actually not that bad for us. All right. So I take 10 and go to 8. They're at 4. So any spell here, and they actually could die if they don't have a creature. That actually doesn't count. All right, give me a spell. That's a spell. Sick. Run it. Hello, die in a fire, please. I would also very much appreciate it if you died. God, way too difficult. Okay. All right, sweet. Let's move to game 3. And this time, I think what I want to do is take out the Kamanos and put more of these things in. I want to be able to like just guarantee that the creatures are dead and dying and staying dead and not killing me. However, I do want a second Chandra. So I want to Spell Pierce in the case of Eldritch Evolution instead of Skewer the Critics? I think the answer is still no. I think I would rather have the Skewers. So Skewer is a little harder to proc on the play, but I'm sorry, on the draw than it is on the play. But I think I will probably need all the help I can get getting rid of creatures, right, if we draw like that again. Because our offense, for the most part, was kind of lackluster, and the fact that we had the flyer really did help a lot. But overall, removal and draw spells are kind of king right now. Like, I think Skewer is also better for us than Light Up the Stage. But yeah, we basically needed every single card we had access to get that game. What's here? This is actually fine. So what do we do here? Okay, so they have a turn 1 mana elf, which is fine. Can't really do much about that just yet. And the thing that we can do, we're going to start off with a Swift Spear and get our attack in here. So if this is going to be a copy of, like, I don't know, Brutal Cathar or a Voice of Resurgence, that's pretty annoying. But I can also just draw a copy of, like a Flame Blessed Bolt to deal with a Voice of Resurgence, or even like a Winota to do, I'm sorry, that's only medium obnoxious, if I'm being honest. Like, it's obnoxious, but it could be a lot worse. So let's just cast this and then see what happens. If they immediately untap and get us with a Winota, then, like, I was already just hard losing to that. So there was nothing I was doing about that, and none of the cards I was going to sideboard in over this Skewer were going to help in that scenario. So, and, like, the Kamanos that I sided out for this are also, like, not helpful there. Fuck. All right. Well, let's just see what this is then, I guess. How bad is this? It's the Grave Titan. I hate this deck so fucking much. Like, I feel like this is what happens almost every time I play against it, and these unfortunately are not helpful against this board. A Rending Valley earlier might have been okay. If I was on a play, this would be fine, but we're not on a play, so we are fucking dead. All right. well, that's the end of that. Let's move on to round 5. All right, 5th round. We got the die roll against Kaburb. Kaburb is the word. Anyway, yeah, this hand's fine. Like, we have a 1-drop, we have a 2-drop, and Stomp, we have expressives. So this should be playable. Got the old man thing going where, like, you know, all the joints are still hurting, and it's currently about 4:30 in the morning, and it should not be quite this achy, but here we are. And I actually don't mind light up the stage here. So let's do that. You with Spectacle, and that was pretty good, actually. So yes, and please. Rafine's Tower. Esper colors, huh? All right, are we just playing against some kind of Esper control pile? What's happening here? Whoa, okay. So I can do a couple of things here. I think what I want to do is skip out on Expressive for this turn, play Swift Spears, attacks, and if they try to come at me next turn with one of those sweepers that gives everything -2/-2, then I can Stomp in response, saving all of my creatures. If that's not what they're going to be playing, Faithful Mending, it's Esper Greasefang? Ew. This actually works out really well for us though. Oh, never mind, it's not even a Parhelion. So before they untap, I'm just gonna... If they go ahead and actually resolve a Greasefang with Parhelion in the graveyard, right? What I get to do in their main phase, because you'll notice I actually do have a stop set up here, before they move to combat and the trigger from Greasefang resolves, I can Stomp the Greasefang, giving it -2s because the Soulscar Mage's text, and then it won't be able to crew the Parhelion, so their combo won't actually do anything. So I'm going to save my Bone Crusher Giant and just untap Inexpressive. I'm still going to untap Inexpressive, but that is good for later. So let's yield here, and resolve this. That was fucking terrible. And bottom exile, play this. And I'm just going to go ahead and attack for 6. They can go ahead and flash back their Faithful Mending, that's fine. That really means they're going to 12. They're not going to flash back. They're just doing that instead. I don't know that I agree with that decision, opponent, but oh well, not my problem. Removal spell, March onto Soulscar Mage. Yeah, you got it. All right, so my Bone Crusher Giant line no longer works, which means post-combat I should do what? I should not change anything. I'm just going to Stomp their face now. So they're still going to take the same 6. They're going to go to 10. Oh, 8? Oh, duh, I played another spell. I'll accept it, but why did it take so much? Nope, that's because I don't know what my cards do. So they march to my other friend too. Man. All right, we get nothing. Understood. All right, well, I'm going to Swift Spear. I'm going to Expressive. And Expressive is going to find absolutely nothing I want. You go in hand. You go bottom. You go in exile, I guess. Wait a minute. They're at 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Treasure Cruise is 6. I can't cast Treasure Cruise. I already made a land drop. So I may as well just attack here. Right? Am I tripping? Like, there's no way I have lethal, right? Yeah, no, I don't. I already made a land drop. Just attack. Poop. Went off. 3 Marches of the Otherworldly Light, though. That's pretty obnoxious. I haven't played against Esper Greasefang in a little bit. So let's see what we're going to be doing here. Another Faithful Mending. Okay, sure. Can't do much about that currently. So they go to 6. They get to draw and drop. Now I'm really just kind of stuck hoping that we don't see a copy of Greasefang and that they don't have a Parhelion to discard. No Parhelion, so no danger there. Which actually means I think I just do this now, especially for the Scry. The Scry's going to be sweet. Boop. Oh, absolutely not. Too many lands, deck. Too many lands. Bone Crusher's not bad, but I am still going to start here. So we get a Prowess up. We see what they're up to. Oh, actually, I like that a lot. I want both of these. Casting that now. So if they have a removal spell for this, they should probably get on that. A Faithful Mending, that's not good enough, opponent. So each of these commandos is going to be worth 2 between the damage that they do and the prowess themselves. So what is that? 3? All right, so that's good enough for lethal here. All right, sweet. So against this deck, I want Rending Valleys. I want Spell Pierces. And I think that's actually it. I don't really want Chandra. It does kill Greasefang technically, but I don't think that's a good enough reason to play it. At least not into a counterspell deck that can just untap and combo me at any point, right? So cards that I don't particularly care for here. Bone Crusher Giant is fine, but that's not actually good. Things that do 2 damage are honestly kind of embarrassing. And Chandra's okay. I think I like this best. Yeah, let's do this. So we're going to be playing against Esper Greasefang. So that's going to be our sideboard against Esper Greasefang. Let's take out the cards that we did not want here and submit. Kaburb. I'm having way too much fun looking at that username. And our hand is pretty good, actually. We got a couple of 1-drops that we want. We have a Rending Valley for the Greasefang. Ledger Shredder's pretty good. So yeah, all right. Overall, can't complain too much. I'll probably find a way to anyway, but with what I have currently, I can't complain too much. So let's go ahead, cast Swift Spear, and start getting our attack on here. And Skewer and Soul Scar are both okay to get rid of in case we Deafening Silence. I understand that it stops Ledger Shredder from doing its thing. Okay, good. I was gonna say, if they find a fucking Parhelion off of that, I'm gonna be so pissed. But now they can't do their thing either? I think I'm pretty okay with that. And if this is just a Greasefang, then that's whatever. Steam Vents, okay. So here what I'm gonna do is Soul Scar, attack with just this. Attack with just this. Now I can Skewer, Connive, do all these things, and get rid of this Swift Spear. No. Let's think about that. No, I'm going to get rid of the Ledger Shredder because I still want to be able to conserve my mana as much as possible here. And this gives me actually a lot of options. So I have the ability to attack still. Expressive Iteration is still pretty good. Rending Valley is honestly for their turn anyway, not for my own. And Swift Spear is a creature which beats Deafening Silence's text. So if this is just, oh, it's nothing. I do like it when they do nothing. All right, so let's see what we draw here. A Light Up the Stage. Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. So I can Swift Spear, Light Up the Stage, and hold up Rending Valley anyway? Yeah, all right, I'm in for that. So you take 3, 4, 5, go down to 10. I get to cast this. Blah, 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 prowess, stuff. That's actually a fine discard. I don't really care about that right now. Yield to our lovely prowess triggers. And actually, that's pretty good for us because I can play this next turns too. So now if they have some kind of sweeper, they can tell I have a follow-up creature. So Tainted Indulgence is fine. They're going to get to discard the Parhelion that they don't even have. Nice. So are we going to be able to come up with a way to deal with all of these creatures then, or what's up? Because I am currently going to be doing my best to make this your problem. I hope you can't actually do anything about all these creatures, but okay, so it's another Greasefang. That's actually still fine though. So let's end a turn, Rending Valley this. Pew pew, go die. Untap. And now I get to Expressive here. Prowess triggers up. I want to hand, go to 1. And now my Play with Fire is just lethal. I can't cast it right now because of Deafening Silence, but if they cast basically any non-creature spell, I'm just going to respond to it with Play with Fire. And never mind. So it looks like we went 3 and 2. Well, you know, I don't know, that was cool. So let's check it out and see what our takeaways are for today. All right, so we just went 3 and 2 with Izzet Prowess, and honestly, I think this deck was pretty sweet. We got to have some really wildly aggressive starts, and this deck has a surprising number of ways to increase the number of cards in its hand, right? Like you have Expressive Iteration, you have Treasure Cruise, you have Light Up the Stage. There's a lot of cards that draw more than 1 for 1 in this deck, and I think that's going to be a lot of what kind of powers it up. So things that I actively loved. I do like the fact that the Soulscar Mage and the Monastery Swift Spear play really nicely with our, you know, the rest of our red cards, right? Like these are just good solid cards that have been good for a while. The Kamano Faces Kakazan, this card was actually fine because we wanted to, you know, proc our Light Up the Stage, proc our Skewer the Critics so often that I think this was definitely like legitimately super worth our time. Ledger Shredder was really freaking good. It did suck, of course, the couple of times that our opponents had things like Fatal Pushes and Portable Holes, but really, removal spell beats creature is not a reason to not play a creature. Like, this was actively very, very good. And we even got, like, one game of Secret Text, right, where I was trying to play around Deafening Clarion against the 5-color opponent, and then they nived to light, and they found Deafening Clarion, and I got to connive, and they basically played Deafening Clarion for me almost. So that was super cool. And I definitely plan on playing more lists that contain this card. This card was really, really good. This does not need an introduction. This does not need an introduction. This broken ass card does not need an introduction. But it is really cool that it plays so well with Ledger Shredder. Like, the people who are able to play these two cards together, like in Vintage, they have to be going nuts right now. That interaction is crazy good. Chandra, honestly, underwhelming. She was decent a couple of times. Like, you know, she had a couple of turns where she drew me a couple of extra cards and that was okay. And honestly, if I were to play this list again, shoutouts to Mana Traders for giving me the really cool version of this card, by the way, but I don't know that I would cast this card again in this list. Like, it's fine, but I don't think it's great. I think I want to look for something else to play rather than Chandra Dress to Kill. Like, I could play, for example, a 4th copy of Light Up the Stage and a 2nd copy of Wild Slash, have the mana curve be a lot lower as a direct result of that, and probably be just as happy in a lot of matchups to have the additional burn spells rather than the Planeswalker in Game 1. In Games 2 and 3, the Chandra Torch of Defiance, like, this was excellent. Like, I love this. The Rending Valley, we played 4 of them because I thought it was going to be excellent. And it was excellent. Spell Pierce was pretty good. We didn't come across the Lotus Field deck, but like Alpine Moon is there for that basically. And the Flame Blessed Bolts, they're okay. Like, we didn't face any Phoenix, and we did face Winota, but Winota, like, you know, just did Winota things. And it didn't help that we mulliganed like absolute dog shit in that matchup either, but hey, it's what it is. Honestly, overall, I like this deck. I think I would recommend, especially a Ledger Shredder version of this deck. Like, I don't know that I would recommend Chandra, but in the entire rest of the deck felt really good. I think 2 is probably the correct number of Treasure Cruise, because it's not like you're playing Considers or anything like that, so you're not like turboing it out, but seeing 1 in a game is really good. So I think 2 happens to be the right number of Treasure Cruise to be playing in this. 3 copies of Den of the Bugbear is probably appropriate. I do like the fact that we're not trying to play any of the other spell lands, but if you wanted to play only 2 Den of the Bugbear and instead play 1 copy of Sekenzin, that makes sense to me too. I think I want all of the Shivan Reefs though, because it's really important to be able to cast Ledger Shredder on turn 2 and Expressive on turn 3, so we do want as many duels as we can get. But if you wanted to turn 1 Den of the Bugbear into 1 Sekenzin, or, I don't know, play a 21st land and maybe not mulligan as much as I did, either of those would totally be options. And I think that's going to be the other point too, is like 20 lands for this style of deck feels like it really should be enough, and in practice, it just like wasn't, right? Like, we mulliganed a lot this league. And yeah, sure, like I mulligan a lot anyway, but we mulliganed a ton this league. Like, we had multiple matches where we mulliganed in at least 2 of the games, and I don't really know that I find that acceptable. So I think I want to play a 21st land. Whether I want it to be a 4th Den of the Bugbear or the 1st Sekenzin, I don't know yet, but I definitely want like a 21st land in this, because we just like mulliganed way more than I could appreciate. And it led to a lot of non-games. Like, if we had drawn 7 cards instead of 5 against the Winota deck, then that matchup is not that bad for us. I mean, it's rough because Winota just does Winota sometimes, but like, it's really not that bad for us. Like, we could have totally won a game in which we kept 7 cards and just like killed all of their creatures and then, you know, did Ledger Shredder things, and that would have been fine. But we just didn't have the card quantity to keep up with that deck. And, you know, they ended at under 10 in, I think, both of the games that we ended up losing to. So, yeah, that's going to be my input here. But, like I said, this deck looks really fun, and I did have a good time playing it. Despite the 3-2 record, I still think this was a pretty good time. But that's going to be our input for today. If you like what you watched, make sure to click like on the video. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see y'all in the next one.